So now we'll come to know that in last class we have been discussed that what is the female reproductive system, and as well as after that we have discussed what is fertilization, and later the next concept is development of embryo. Till there you have been studied. Is it yes, guys? Please respond. So development of embryo. So as we know, once the fertilization will take place. So where the fertilization will take place, Arvind? Fertilization will take place in where? I understand my question. Where the fertilization process will carried out? Anybody?
Embryo.
I am not asking embryo or not. Where the fertilization process will.
Fallopian tubes.
Fallopian tubes.
If you are not understanding my question, you have to listen. So where the fertilization will take place, that is what I am asking. So once the egg is released from the ovary, so it will start moving into the where a fallopian tubes. So by that time, the sperms is entering into the female reproductive system, and they will start moving into the both the fallopian tubes. So whatever the fallopian tube is having egg, so there the egg will start moving from the embryo. So this is what embryo we can see. So now from there, once the egg is started releasing, so these sperms will come and will fuse itself, and it is what this fusing is taking place in the fallopian tubes. So that is what we used to call as fertilization. You understand, Arvind, what I am asking now? So where it will take place? So now later the cell division will take place. So that continuously a cell division is taking place from that fertilization place to the slowly the fertilized egg is started coming down by developing like growth and development of new cells. That is what we used to call as embryo. So now these embryo will come and will stick to the walls of, what is that? A walls of uterus. So that is what a soft and a thick lining of uterus will be there. So there it will start sticking there. So that is only we used to call as embryo, development of embryo. So these embryo get embedded in the soft and thick walls of uterus here. So here further development of growth and development of baby will takes place. So this is what the things we people studied in the last class. Yes or no? So now from here we will continue. So if you notice it very carefully, have you understand this one? So now here, so once the embryo will form, so that is what we used to call as implementation. Is it yes, guys? Yes, implantation, not implementation. So implantation. So what do you mean by implantation? Can anyone say? What do you mean by implantation? So the
embedding of embryo in thick lining of uterus.
Yes, the developed zygote, that is what we used to call as embryo. So the embedding of embryo in the thick lining of the uterus is only called as implantation. So this developed fertilized egg, that is what embryo will come and will stick to the embedded to the walls of the uterus. That is what we used to call as implantation. Now from here we will continue here. So once this implantation is over, then what will happen means, so immediately, so between this implanted egg, that is what we used to call as embryo, and as well as uterus wall. So have you noticed here a pink color one? Have you seen, guys? Please respond. This is what we used to call as uterus wall. What we used to call? Uterus wall. So, and this is what we used to call as embryo. So now, once the embryo is implanted on the walls of uterus, then immediately between this embryo and as well as this uterus wall, a disc-like a special tissue, you might be notice it here, a red color one. Have you seen it, guys, here? This is what we used to call as a small disc-like, a special tissue will develop between where, guys? Between the embryo and the uterus wall. Did you understand what I'm saying? So that is only we used to call as placenta. What we used to call? placenta. So what do you mean by placenta? So once the implantation will takes place, once the embryo will come and will stick to the embedded to the walls of the uterus, so a special tissue develops between the uterus wall and the embryo. That is only we used to called as, what we used to called, guys? Placenta. Understand? So this is a special tissue, we can say, disc-like special tissue. So now, here if you'll notice it, once, what is the use of this flagella? Placenta means this will connect the mother's body through the embryo by using some kind of a pipe-like structure. Have you seen, guys? This is, please respond. So this is only we used to call as, which will connect the mother's womb to the fetus, or we can say embryo. So that is only called as umbilical cord or umbilical, umbilical, umbilical cord, we can say. Actually, we should say you should pronounce umbilical cord. That is what. So what is that? That is what after birth they will cut and they will tie. Have you remember, guys? Second picture you might be see. Have you seen, guys, here very clearly? This is only called as umbilical cord. Understanding? So which will connect to where, guys? Which will connect the placenta and the fetus, or we can say embryo, whatever it is. So the developed embryo is only called as fetus, we can say. So now, if you notice it very carefully, so what is the first part? Once the embryo is implanted, understand, implantation to the walls of the uterus, then immediately what will develop? A special disc-like tissue will develop between the uterus walls and the embryo. That is only we used to call as, what we used to call? Placenta we used to call as. Okay. So now if you see here, these placenta and this fetus is connected by mother's body, and inside our mother's body with some kind of a tube-like structure. That is what we used to call as umbilical cord. Okay. So now what is this use of this umbilical cord? Anybody can say? Please, can you know? So that is the only will help understanding. So which is connecting this placenta to and the fetus, or we can say embryo, through this umbilical cord. So this placenta, why it is developing means, this is only through the placenta, all whatever the requirements. For example, if the development, this fetus will start growth and development. So this growth and development wants to take place. It needs something. What is that, guys? Can anybody say? It needs something. Suppose if you want to grow, what you want to take? You want to take food. That is what nutrition. Yes or no? Please respond. Yes or no? So now if you want to alive, what you have to do? You have to do some process. What is that process? If you want to do?
Taking food nutrition.
Yes or no? And as well as excretion. So when we are inside the mother's womb, understanding, so we cannot breathe by our nose. So that is what, and we cannot eat by our own. We cannot excrete by our own. So by the time when we are inside the body, whatever it is present, nutrition and as well as respiration and excretion, etc., everything, they are met from the mother's body through this placenta only. That is the importance of placenta. So that is why we can say placenta is the exchange of nutrients. What is this? It is exchange of nutrients and as well as oxygen and as well as waste products between the embryo and the mother's takes place through mother's body only through this placenta only. That is the importance of placenta. So placenta is the special tissue which will provide a required nutrients for the growth of body, this baby body, and as well as it will provide oxygen for the respiration, means for the alive of baby, and as well as it will take the waste products from the baby and it will give it to the mother's body so that it will be excreted outside. So that is the importance of
placenta. This exchange of nutrients comes through umbilical cord, sir.
Yeah, that is only. Everything will be exchanged through this umbilical cord only. That is the joint between the placenta and as well as embryo. Understand, Kevin? So now here, if you notice it, for the safety purpose of the baby inside, understanding, a one water kind of thing you might be notice it. Have you seen a blue color like egg shape? That is only we used to called as watery liquid. So you might be see, for example, like animals delivery time, like cow and all. Once the baby is coming out, then this a thick liquid is also coming outside. That is what a water liquid, where usually the baby is inside that usually. Understand? It will be like a we can say safety liquid, protected liquid, which will protect from the small injuries and all. Direct contact won't be there between the stomach and the baby. So suddenly mothers may fall down or else may hit by something. So it may not affect that because between fluid will be there so that it will be protected somehow. That is what the use of that watery liquid. Is it okay? That is only, this is all we used to say. What is the embryo and as well as how this embryo will exchange the food and oxygen and as well as waste products and how it will be developed. Now, this embryo, once it will develop, it will take around 8 weeks of time. So once the fertilization will take place today, for example, so till 8 week, we used to say that is what we used to call as embryo. Do you understand? So once the 8 weeks of fertilization over, then almost I will show the picture also. So till this embryo stage, so a body does not get any kind of particular shapes like hands, head, tail, legs and all. So later only, once this 8 weeks completed, that stage only we used to call as embryo into. That is what we can say. Embryo will be after 8 weeks we used to call as fetus. So here only it is possible to identify the sex determination. So that is what you can see. If you go to the hospitals, they used to write identifying the fetus sex is prohibited here, restricted here, like that they used to give the captions. Have you seen? Under the act of this one, that one, identifying the sex of fetus is what we can say illegal act, like that they used to write. Have you seen, guys? If you go to some hospitals, yes, please respond. So that is only because in fetus stage only we people can identify either it is a male body or female body. So the development of a fetus is what coming from where, guys? It is coming from embryo only. So that is what you have to remember. So now, if you'll observe the second picture, this is the side view actually, side view where the baby is growing, the embryo grows and development inside the uterus. So this inside the uterus, this is what we used to call it as uterus. So this uterus is only also we can call it as womb. Understanding? So now here you might be see like have you seen, guys, this structure like mitochondria inside structure, it is there. Please respond. This is only we used to call it as, what we used to call a disc-like structure. What is this called as? Placenta. And you might be see from the placenta to the fetal embryo, it is connected with some kind of a thread-like structures. This is, have you seen, guys, everyone? So this is only we used to call it as, what we used to call, this is a disc. This is the disc which we used to call it as placenta, and this is only we used to call it as umbilical cord. So this is only will carries all the nutrients and as well as oxygen, and as well as it will take out the waste things, waste products from the embryo or from the fetus to the mother's body. So next, if you take, once the baby has been developed, you can see just born baby. Have you seen the just born baby will born with a thick viscous liquid on its surface? Have you seen? Doctors immediately they will clean with some kind of cloth. Please respond. And here you might be see, this is only once the baby will born, they will cut this and they will tie. That is what we can say in Telugu. We can say our center point of any human body or any animal. That is what exact is midpoint of our body. That is what we used to call as umbilical cord. In Tamil, what we can say, I don't know. So they will cut it and they will tie, because till that we people cannot breathe, we cannot eat our own, or we cannot excrete our products and all. So everything will go through this pipe-like structure only. So once we born, then we'll start breathing. That is what you might be seeing. So suddenly the baby will start crying. Have you noticed it? That is what we can say. Only a mother will be happy when you are crying. That is the only time of birth. During the birth time alone, when we cry, our mother will be happy. Remaining next anywhere in our life, if you will cry, mother will never be happy. That is what we used to say. That is so. First time when you will come to the earth, then suddenly it will take time to breathe. So by the time, because of suddenly the climate, atmosphere, everything changes. So we people will start, our body parts will start functioning, so that we will express that with a cry only. So the baby, if you observe in this picture, it has been just born baby with thick liquid is present. You might be see. This is only why it is. It is a watery liquid because baby is inside the mother's womb, a protected watery liquid. That liquid is only this one. So now this picture you can see here. This umbilical cord is not even cut. It is still attached to the baby. So once just they will cut it and they will tie to the separate and the newborn baby from the mother. They will separate it once it will be born and they will tie. That is what every person will be having at the center of their earth, center of their body. That is only we used to call it. For every animal, it is used to be developed. All the multicellular organisms, they will be used to, those who are giving birth to the baby, every baby is having this one. That is what you have to remember. So, as I said, once the fertilization will take place, that is what we used to call as, what we used to call zygote we used to say. Is it yes or no, guys? Please respond. So now this zygote will start develops like implantation. So once the implantation stage will come, that is what we used to call as what, guys? We used to call as embryo, we can say. So now embryo will develop, that is what fetus we can say. So fetus will develop, that is what we used to say what, guys? Baby will develop. Okay, so this is what the process will take place from the fertilization to the formation of baby. So now this all will take certain time period. Is it yes, guys? It is not common from animal to animal. For example, if you take humans itself, so what is the normal period of this fertilization to the delivery baby? Means baby is coming outside. So it is not same. Is for every. For example, if you take animal, elephant 600 days is the delivery period. You understand? So like that, if you take different animals, suppose if you take a dog and cat, 3 months means 90 days is the delivery period. So like if you take hatching eggs, it is around 21 days, 18 to 21 days hatching eggs will take place. Like that, if you take humans, so what is that period anyone can say? Anybody can guess? Around we can say 9 months. Is it yes or no, guys? Please respond.
So 9 months, 10 days.
Yes, 9 months to 10 months. That is what we say. It is around 38 weeks. This is what the period of understanding, a time period of where this fertilization up to the birth of the baby. So this period is not constant for animal to animal. So whatever the time taking from the fertilization means from the formation of fertilized egg to the baby. So this full period is only we used to call it as gestation. Understand? So very important one. So please all of you write. So what do you mean by gestation, guys? The time period from the fertilization up to the birth of the baby is only called as gestation. Please write it. Clear? Everybody? Right. The time period from the fertilization, the time period from the fertilization up to the birth of the baby, Pranav call to the Dena and all absentees. So many are there, call them. Bhumika, Jesse, inform them, Madhumita. Right. The time period from the fertilization up to the birth of the baby is called, what we used to call, guys? Gestation. 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 So now, how it will be takes place. Nowadays you might be heard, basically all the animals will give the birth is a natural birth only. Is it yes, guys? It is not possible to done the cesarean for them. But humans nowadays, most probably they are not giving for the natural delivery. They are going for the cesarean. Means they will cut the mother's stomach and they will take the baby outside, and later it will be they will stitch the mother's stomach again back. But animals, it is not possible because animals cannot stay after the cesarean. They cannot stay in a particular position for a certain period of time. So that is why it is not possible to do the cesarean for the delivery. So basically, olden days, if you go, there is no kind of cesarean for the delivery of the baby. So baby used to come naturally only. Is it yes, guys? From the mother's womb. So the baby should come naturally only. So that is what there when the mother is like baby is ready to come outside, then this gestation period is over. Once the fetus will grows into a new baby, then the birth will begins. Understand? So this birth, when the strong muscles in the walls of the uterus, they will start contract rhythmically, and this like slowly they will push the baby outside. So as we know, we're having one kind of a bone, as I told you, very like if you imagine this is what the walls of the uterus. So in between the vagina and the walls of the uterus is connected with some kind of bones. What is that bones? Can anybody say? Please.
Sir, cervix.
Yeah, cervix bones. Yes or no? So here, if you notice it, so these cervix bones is very, very like a thin wall. Yes or no? So now this is what the walls of the uterus. So here, this walls of the uterus is having muscles. So these muscles slowly they will contract. Understanding? Contract in the sense of like a compression and expansion. Slowly they will start pushing the baby outside. So by the time these cervix bones also will start expanding, so that the baby will start pushing the baby. Understand? So the muscles, because of this uterus muscles only, baby slowly pushes out from the mother's body through the cervix, and the cervix bones will start expanding by the time. So that what is happening? The baby will come out through the vagina. So this is only we used to call it as natural delivery. Basically, every animal, including the human being, it is the process of delivery. But nowadays, everything going with the cesarean, because during the delivery time, do you know that? So it's not joking, I'm saying you. So during the delivery time, if it is a natural delivery, imagine a mother will face a pain of at a time, whatever the bones you have, all the 206 bones, if will break at a time in your body, it is unpredictable pain. Is it yes, guys? So during the delivery also, a mother will face the same pain when the baby is coming outside, but still she will be happy. That is what we can say. A mother's love is more than anything. So once during this baby is coming outside from this uterus to the through the vagina, then that that period of time is like a hell for the any kind of mother. So once the babies come outside, immediately she will be relaxed and she will forget that full pain and she will started smiling. That is what we can say is like every mother, all of us, everybody, we will born from our mother in the same way. But now humans were having cesarean, painless operations and all, so that the baby is coming easily. But every animal still they used to face the same problem. Sometimes you might be heard, baby is this umbilical cord may stick to the neck. That is what we can say. We Telugu or Tamil also is same similar thing, I think. So by the time that the delivery is very difficult, you might be heard it. Yes, guys. And maybe they may be not unable to take this umbilical cord. They may be like a reverse pattern. It will be stick to their neck, so that they may be not breathing is not taking properly, or else food is not supplying properly. Suddenly they will start to do the cesarean. You might be heard that kind of cases. But animals, imagine the situation. Animals also that cases will take place. By the time baby will die inside, because animals we cannot do like cesarean correct. So baby will die. Later only doctors will go and they will remove the dead baby, which is they will remove from the vagina only from the animals. That is what it will happen. But even sometimes animal also may leads to death because of this delivery pain. That is why you can see olden days, more cases during the delivery time, more even mothers used to pass it away. They used to die because the pain they cannot control. So once they will give the delivery to the baby, so in that what we can say that that time period, so suddenly maybe their breath also may stop because that much painful action it will be. So that it will lead to the death also. So many others. That is why you may be see hospitals and all. If you are not doing cesarean, it is not enough safe for baby and mother both, like that they will say. Or else either we can save mother or we can save baby because it is a very painful action. But still, everybody used to born from mothers in the same process only. So fertilization will take place. After that, embryo to fetus to the new baby. New baby used to come outside by pushing of the rhythmatical, what it is, it's a process, a continuous, a systematic process of contracting of uterus muscles. So that is what the baby will come out with the help of cervix bones will push us away. So the baby will come out through the vagina. So this is all about the how this fertilization will take place and as well as development of embryo into the new baby. So now, if you notice it here, so development of new baby, we are using 3 words basically. What is the 3 words? Can anyone say? We have this full process, fertilization, this gestal period. So finally, from the male gamete and female gamete to the new baby. So middle, we are getting 3 words. What is that? Anyone? Pranav, Trani, Rasini, call to Sriya. Anybody can say, please. What is the 3 words which we are using here? Please respond. What are the 3 words we are using, guys? We are using 3 words, correct, from the male body to female body once the gametes is transferred. So between this formation of new baby, we are getting 3 words middle. What is that words? Male gamete will fuses with the female body. Then what is that we used to call that? We used to call it as
Zygote.
zygote. So now zygote is further developed. Then what we used to call it as embryo.
Embryo, fetus.
Embryo is further developed. We used to call it as what? Fetus. That is okay. So now, please all of you write. That is what the next concept we are going to study. Differences between zygote, embryo, and fetus. Differences between zygote, embryo, and fetus. Very important. Differences between zygote, embryo, and fetus. Are you understanding, guys? Please respond. That is right. First point. Zygote. First zygote. What is the zygote, guys? Zygote is what? It is formed by what? Please tell me. It is formed by the fusion of what?
Fusion of
Fusion
male gametes and female gametes.
male and female gametes. You have to speak because we have been studied already. Female gametes. That is what we used to call it as sperm and egg. That is. Next, what is embryo? Anybody? A repeated cell division of what? Zygote. Repeated cell division. Repeated cell division of a zygote. We used to call it as embryo. Then what is fetus, guys? Growth.
Developed baby was fetus.
Yes. Growth and development of embryo is only called as what? Fetus. Clear, everybody? Please respond. Next. Zygote is the what, guys? It is the beginning of the formation of a baby. That is the second stage. It is what? Beginning of the formation of a baby. So it does not take actually much time. Once the egg is ready, once the sperm will reaches there in the fallopian tubes, immediately the fertilization will take place. That is what we can say, beginning of the formation of baby. That is what it is called as zygote. So it won't take much time. Next, embryo is a what, guys? It is an unborn baby in uterus in the early stages of development. That is what it will take how many weeks? 8 weeks.
8 weeks, sir. 8 weeks.
Right. Unborn baby. So in this stage, a mother should be very careful because more if something will goes wrong or else high BP or high tension or else it may not, proper care is not given, then it will leads to abortion. That is what a baby, it may unable to, because it is a implantation stage, yes or no? So once the implantation not takes place properly, what will happen? It will leads to the abortion. That is what it is happening.
Miscarriage.
Be very careful in this stage. Implantation is not taking place, then the baby.
Miscarriage will be there.
Yes, yes, yes. So complete rest, or even we have to take care much even during this period. That is, so unborn baby in the uterus, in the early stages of, development. So this is up to how many weeks? Up to
8 weeks.
8 weeks after fertilization. Is it okay? Next, this one what? Fetus, anybody? It's also unborn baby. After what? After 8
8 weeks.
till the birth. Till the birth we used to call it as fetus only. Okay. So unborn baby in the uterus. Unborn baby in the uterus. In the later stages of development. This is early stages of development. This is what, guys? Later stages of development. So it will take how many times? After 8 weeks to stillbirth. So embryo is before growth and development, and this is what fetus is after growth and development. That is, you have to remember. Okay. Second point, write it fastly, everybody. And third point, right? Zygote is a single cell. Zygote is a single cell. Zygote is a single cell. It is smaller than a full stop. If you'll keep a small full stop, even the zygote is less than that. Every life will start from that full stop only. A zygote is a single cell. Zygote is a single cell. It is smaller than a full stop. That is next. So embryo is a what, guys? Embryo is a single cell or multicellular? Single cell or multicellular embryo? Please respond. Embryo is a what? Multicellular. That is, embryo is a multicellular. Embryo is multicellular. The body features of growing baby. The body features of growing baby in embryo are not much developed. What do you mean by features? Anybody can say here? Varshini, Kevin, Varshini, anyone? Anybody, please. What do you mean by features? Features means, that is what? Body parts. Means hands, legs, head, whatever it is. So the body parts not grown, much developed. That is what it is. Embryo. So the next one is what? Last one. Fetus. So it is also, fetus is also what? Multicellular or single cellular? Fetus is also multicellular. Multicellular. The body features of developing baby. Features of developing baby. So in this stage only, what we used to get, guys? We used to get all like hands, legs, next head, eyes, etc., etc. All the things will get in this stage only. Okay, so then only we people can identify. That is what I said. Sex determination stage is fetus stage. So embryo stage, it is not possible to identify what sex is, a male sex or female sex. We cannot identify in the early stages. That is what, once it will grown into fetus, then only we can identify. So now I will show you the real pictures of zygote and embryo and as well as fetus. So during the scanning period, if you go, then in this is the three structures of zygote and embryo and fetus. Have you seen now? This is what a zygote. So you might be seeing both here. Have you able to see the two dots? What is this called as? Anybody can say? One is nucleus of the what? Nucleus of the egg. And
Male.
another one is nucleus of the
Sperm.
what? Sperm. So both will be fused inside. So this is only this fused egg. You might be see, once the egg is fused, a thick wall is formed around the egg. This is what a thick wall. So which will not allow to fertilize one more sperm in this. Once it is first sperm is processed, that is one. So this is only which to called as zygote. So now zygote, after it will be cell division will takes place, continuous cell division. You might be see, this is what embryo. So embryo, is it body parts is grown? Have you seen it? No body parts is developed. Understanding? So just growth and development of this cell
Sir, I
division,
have don't doubt.
so that we are unable to identify any kind of features of the baby. Have you seen it? It's
Sir, I
just,
have doubt, sir.
yes, please.
Sir, nowadays some twins and all birth
Yeah,
will take place.
actually,
How
it
it
is,
will take?
we can say, Kevin, you might be asked that twins sometimes 4, sometimes 5 babies also we are getting.